All right, Dr. Theodore Henderson with Neuro-Luminance, and we're back for another, deep dive into the science. Last time I talked a little bit about multi-watt infrared light therapy as a treatment for depression and how it turns on neuroplasticity. And I teased you about how ketamine is a good treatment for depression as well because it turns on neuroplasticity by another mechanism. And I said that you put the two together and you get synergy. 1 + 1 = 3, a very powerful, potent treatment for depression. But let's talk about ketamine by itself for a second, because there is so much mythos and so much hoopla and so much fear around ketamine. And I want to straighten some of that out for you. First off, we all grew up as ketamine being the horse tranquilizer, and it's like it was a street drug. But it really is an amazingly safe medication in proper hands at proper doses. In fact, go to any children's hospital. It is the #1 anesthetic used in children's hospitals. Why? Because it's safe. And so the kinds of doses that they're using for kids for anesthesia is 10 times the dose that we use to treat depression. So we're not trying to anesthetize you. We're not trying to make you dissociate. We're not trying to make you hallucinate. We're trying to turn on neuroplasticity in your brain. And the dose where that works is the starting dose, 0.5 milligram per kilogram over 40 minutes. There's a problem though in the US. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a ketamine clinic these days. They've popped up all over the place. And there are big corporations that are starting to collect up all the ketamine clinics under a corporate umbrella. And they all do ketamine the same way. You must come in and you get ketamine 3 times a week for 2 weeks for a total of 6 treatments. That's the way it must be. Well, why? Why must it be that way? What's the molecular biology? What's the little trick of neuroplasticity that 6 times in 2 weeks takes advantage of? You know what the answer is? Nothing. Nothing. It's amazing. This all started from one guy's study in which he looked at 6 infusions in 2 weeks. One of the first multi-infusion studies. I was curious. I said, okay, he picked that protocol for a reason. I literally called the guy up and said, okay, what's the reason for 6 infusions in 2 weeks? What's the molecular biology? What's the science behind that? He said, I don't know, it sounded good. That was the science. That was it. Seriously. Everybody followed the leader and everybody copied him, and that became the protocol, 6 infusions in 2 weeks. So all these clinics are out there doing 6 infusions in 2 weeks. I never, ever do an infusion more than 1 time a week. In fact, it's more often week 1, week 2, week 4, week 7. And as a result, I give the neuroplasticity time. You have to realize an axon grows 1 millimeter a day. That's it. You're not going to get neuroplasticity like that. It takes time. And so you have to give the brain time. And the reality is that, over 10 years, the average number of infusions that my patients get is 4.3. Not 6, not 6 plus boosters, 4.3. Our response rate is better than the national average. Our response rate is 72%. And multiple studies have shown that the national average is about 50%. So ketamine, when it first came out, was all the rage. Oh my gosh, it's an amazing, wonderful antidepressant. And now the national average is sitting at, you got a 50-50 shot that it's gonna work if you do 6 infusions in 2 weeks, because they're rushing the neuroplasticity. Now there's one other thing here. Some people are afraid of ketamine because, oh, well, I don't wanna hallucinate. I don't want to have a bad trip, and it's a valid concern. It's a real concern if they're giving you doses at which you're going to hallucinate. But the reality is at 0.5 milligram per kilogram over 40 minutes, you're not going to hallucinate. In 10 years, I've had 1 patient hallucinate out of hundreds. Just 1, that's it. So at the proper dose, you're not going to hallucinate. But, again, these clinics out there are following this myth. Oh, well, you must hallucinate in order to fix the depression. Poppycock. Nonsense. But they're pushing the doses and they're making people experience hallucinations, and sometimes it's a bad trip. Yeah, I agree. Don't go to a clinic that says, oh yes, you must hallucinate in order for you to get better. That's nonsense. Don't do it. Don't buy it. It's garbage. Go with a clinic that says, yeah, let's stick with the starting dose. Let's target neuroplasticity. Let's get you better over time. And the clinic that does that and has been doing it for 10 years is the Neuro-Luminance Clinic. So neuroplasticity is the answer. Not hallucinating, not bad trips, not wasting your money on too many infusions, neuroplasticity. And you had to give it time, and you had to respect it. So, kind of an exciting, different kind of take on the science of what's going on with ketamine. And ketamine is just one of the things that we're doing at Neuro-Luminance, and our infrared light therapy, multi-watt infrared light therapy that reaches actually directly to the brain is the most innovative thing that is available in the field of psychiatry. Stay tuned for more. Any questions, comments, feel free to reach out to me. Dr. Theodore Henderson with Neuro-Luminance, signing off.